think the signal interceptor's ready to go. Are you?
Let's do this.
All right. Head up onto the platform and we'll see if I...
Всем привет, дорогие друзья, с вами Никит, добро пожаловать на прохождение Fallout, и сейчас мы отправляемся в институт. Так, что ты говорила? Что нам сказал мне сделать? А, все, ждем.
Everything looks green. Let me start scanning for the signal. Cross your fingers. I'm inputting the code now. Wow, there's a heck of a lot of interference and ghosting. It's gonna take a minute or two to lock in. By the way, this little trip you're taking is a heck of an opportunity to find out as much as we can about the Institute.
Она, по-моему, посидела уже.
I put a clever little program on this holotape that'll scan their network and download anything it finds. If you place it in any terminal down there, it'll do the rest. Bring it back to me and I'll see if I can make sense of whatever it found. Well, well, looks like we have a winner. RF wave capture complete. Ramping the emitter. 60%, 80%. Emitter spiking but steady. All that's left is to throw the transmit switch. Transmitting in 3, 2, 1. Stay safe, soldier.
Спасибо. Воу. А тот ли вирус я вставил? Да вроде бы тот. Так, все выполнено, да? Стой. Это потом мы отдам Инграм. Стой. Стой, где? Подожди, стой. Изнутри. Да, нормально. Так. Еще у меня же был квест на... Вернее, это показывается как отдельный квест или не показывается? Нам же этот... Надо для того, как его, для Верджила забрать этот. Найти эту хрень. Как она называлась? Найти для Верджила сыворотку.
The Institute is under my guidance.
Broken.
I know why you're here. I'd like to discuss things with you face to face. Please, step into the elevator. I can only imagine what you've heard, what you think of us. I'd like to show you that you may have the wrong impression. Welcome to the Institute. This is the reality of the Institute. This place, these people, the work we do. For over 100 years, we've dedicated ourselves to humanity's survival. Decades of research, countless experiments and trials, a shared vision of how science can help shape the future. It has never been easy, and our actions are often misinterpreted by those above ground. Someday, perhaps, we can show them what we've accomplished. But for now, we must remain underground. There's too much at stake here to risk it all. As you've seen, things above are unstable. I'd like to talk to you about what we can do for everyone. But that can wait. You are here for a specific, very personal reason. You are here for your son.
Yes, I'm Sean.
Sean. Oh my god. It's really you.
Who are you?
Sean. It's me. I'm your dad.
Father, what's going on?
Those bastards.
What's going on? Father? Father!
I'll kill them for this.
I don't know you. Go away. Father!
Please, Sean. I'm your father. Talk to me.
Father? Father, help me! He's trying to take me! Father? Father, help me!
Sean. S923, recall code Cirrus. Fascinating, but disappointing. The child's responses were not at all what I anticipated. He's a prototype, you understand. We're only just now beginning to explore the effects of extreme emotional stimuli. Please try and keep an open mind. I recognize that you are emotional, and that your journey here has been fraught with challenges. Let's start anew. I am Father. Welcome to the Institute.
I could kill you. Right here. Right now.
Yes. Yes, you could. And I would be powerless to stop you.
I'll make this very simple. Where is my son?
He's here, in the Institute. Closer than you think. But I need you to realize that this situation is far more complicated than you could have imagined. You have traveled very far, and suffered a great deal to find your son. Well, your tenacity and dedication have been rewarded. It's good to finally meet you, after all this time. It's me. I am Sean. I am your son.
How is that even possible?
I know this is a lot to take in. In the vault, you had no concept of the passage of time. You were released from your pod and went searching for the son you'd lost. But then you learned that your son was no longer an infant, but a 10-year-old boy. You believed that 10 years had passed. Is it really so hard to accept that it was not 10, but 60 years? That is the reality. And here I am.
Околок не умер от старости, потому что они его сделали частично киборгом. Поэтому мы нашли кучу деталей киборга в его теле.
It wasn't right, what they did. Taking you from me like that.
To you, that would certainly seem true. But to the Institute, it made all the sense in the world. At that time, the year 2227, the Institute had made great strides in synth production. But it was never enough. Scientific curiosity and the goal of perfection drove them ever onward. What they wanted was the perfect machine. So they followed the best example thus far. The human being. Walking, talking, fully articulate, capable of anything.
So the weird science experiments needed specimens. That's why they took you.
In a manner of speaking. Yes. The Institute endeavored to create synthetic organics. The most logical starting point, of course, was human DNA. Plenty of that was available, of course. But it had all become corrupted. In this wasteland, radiation affected everyone. Even in their attempts to shield themselves from the world above, members of the Institute had been exposed. Another source was necessary. But then the Institute found me after discovering records from Vault 111. An infant, frozen in time, protected from the radiation-induced mutations that had crept into every other human cell in the Commonwealth. I was exactly what they needed. And so it was my DNA that became the basis of the synthetic organics used to create every human-like synth you see today. I am their father. Through science, we are family. The synths, me, and you.
And you've been down here the whole time?
I have. Yes. I know you must have questions. Please. Anything I can do to help you understand.
Ну так.
Kellogg. He worked for you?
Kellogg. He was an Institute asset long before I arrived here. It wasn't until I became director that I learned of all the things he'd done. What kind of man he was.
You knew the man was a psychopath, but you used him anyway?
Would you have preferred that I turned him loose on the Commonwealth? At least keeping him on a short leash kept the collateral damage to a minimum. The Institute took advantage of Kellogg's vicious nature. I will freely admit that. Institute technology prolonged his life, and
Вот о чем я
its
говорил.
usefulness far beyond any normal human lifespan. He never failed the Institute, but his cruelty became more apparent with every completed objective. I won't lie. It's no coincidence your path crossed his. It seemed a fitting way to allow you, us, to have some amount of revenge. What else can I say to ease your mind?
Your mother. She never got to see you grow up.
Yes. What happened to her was... I've gone over the records of the incident, of course. It seems her death was an unfortunate bit of collateral damage.
Collateral damage? Is that all she was to you?
What would you have me say? The world is a
А почему не удалось? Странно.
although I think maybe it always
Харизма-то у меня в десяточку.
It's just a bit more honest about it now. For many years, I never questioned who my parents were. I accepted my situation, and that was that. With old age comes regret. And asking what if more often. But what matters now is that you and I have a chance to begin again. What else can I say to ease your mind?
So you're in charge of the Institute?
I am the acting director, yes. I spent decades working to reach this point. It's a responsibility I take very seriously. The Institute. It's important. It really is humanity's best hope for the future, no matter what those above ground might think of us.
They're scared of you, Sean. Scared of the Institute.
People are always frightened by what they don't understand. Ultimately, the Commonwealth has nothing to fear from us. Whatever you've seen or heard, I know I can convince you of that. Just give me time. I know there's more for us to discuss. But the Institute is on the verge of some important breakthroughs. Your presence would be appreciated as we approach them. I've been a part of something amazing here. I've helped to build a life for myself and the people of the Institute. And now, after all these years, you have an opportunity to help with that. Doesn't that intrigue you? Isn't that what you want?
Мы проходим сейчас, вот в этот раз, может быть, когда-то я еще буду делать перед прохождением за институт или еще за кого-то, но сейчас мы идем за братство стали.
I won't be a part of this. I can't.
Why? Because of the reputation of the Institute. The Institute can provide a better life than anything above ground. You've been in the Commonwealth. You've seen what it's like. I assure you that you are better off with us.
Нет.
Your institute has done some horrible things.
Yes, well, the world is not what it used to be. What about the people you've aided in order to get here? What atrocities have they committed? The Brotherhood of Steel. They believe they're the only ones fit to control technology and destroy anyone who opposes them.
Братство стали классные.
Side with them. None have
Да,
any
хочу.
true claim to nobility in this world. Those days are gone. But we are not.
Он пытается меня убедить, но мне не нужно.
You give the Institute
Хочется с ним согласиться, но...
a chance to show you what I've been telling you. We
Типа, дай
really
мне
do
шанс,
have
чтобы тебе все
humanity's
показать.
best interests at heart. Will you take that chance?
Типа, ты возьмешь свой шанс. Это братство стали, извините.
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
I'm sorry to hear that. I had certainly hoped we could work together. But every man must make his own decisions. If you choose to leave, I cannot force you to stay. Understand, though, that I cannot allow you to remain within the Institute. You may have safe passage back to the relay, where you will be sent back to the surface. But from that point, you must be considered hostile. I am sorry. I must think first of the safety of the Institute. And in the cruel world that has developed, those who are not with us are against them. The elevator will return you to the relay.
Так тому и быть. Это я заберу с собой. Камеры. Это классное место, и было бы неплохо как-то, я не знаю, сделать их более гласными, и чтобы они работали вместе с братством. Это было бы прям классно-классно. Что еще могу сюда загрузить? У меня же был, помимо вируса, типа, у меня, кстати, же был этот Дима на флешке. Было бы интересно его сюда запихнуть, посмотреть, что будет. Вот как-то так. Теперь мы давай отправимся на Придвин, сдадим. А что мы сдадим? Нет, мы не на Придвин идем, мы идем вот сюда. Почему я оказался тут? Ай, твою ж мать. Почему я оказался вообще там? А не внутри. Что за хрень? Что за скотское обращение с клиентами? Челядь ебаная. А, это Мэксон там у себя наверху, понял.
Here's your holotape, Proctor. Hope the data on that thing was worth it.
Thanks. You know, it's good to see you're still in one piece. I wasn't sure what the interceptor would do to you.
I wasn't worried. After all, I built the device myself.
I have confidence in everything I built too, but that's because I'll only deal with technology that I understand. Speaking of technology I don't understand, I'll get this holotape to Proctor Quinlan. I'm dying to find out what's on it.
What do you hope to find on there?
Whatever the Institute doesn't want anybody to know. Before we jump to conclusions, let's see what Quinlan's scribes can get off of it.
Right.
I'm sure the Institute has all of their data heavily encrypted, so it's after that, we'll have to see what we've got. In the meantime, your mission to recruit Dr. Lee still needs to be completed. I believe Elder Max...
Ага, ой, доктор Ли, шприцы... Ой, ах, неловко вышло. Извините, надо было согласиться походить, забрать все это и оп. Как неловко вышло. Извините, я и забыл.
Lancer Captain Kells has informed me that the Institute's on high alert, and you're to blame. Explain yourself, Knight.
Чё?
How did you know?
We've been monitoring communications, and picked up an encrypted signal being broadcast from the Institute. What the hell were you thinking?
The Institute is the enemy. I was simply doing my duty.
Your duty is to follow my orders to the letter.
My apologies, Elder.
Apologies are meaningless. Brotherhood soldiers take responsibility for their actions and move on. Fortunately, this incident doesn't change our current. We have a contingency plan that's already being put into effect that should ensure completion of our... Now, thanks to the success of your reconnaissance efforts, I want you to report to Proctor Ingram at the airport. She has a special project that requires you. And Knight, don't disappoint me.
Опа, на уровень какой? 37. А почему? А, вот 2 очка у меня доступно. Ну, 2 очка мы все еще ждем до 39 уровня. Вот. Куда их еще могу потратить? Ну, харизма у меня, да, в топе. Странно, почему я тогда не смог его убедить. А давай.
By Elder Maxon's orders, all forms of technology should be confiscated.
Разбежавшись, прыгну со скалы. Да, силовая броня это круто. Классная штука. Кстати, заметили, что уже начали возводиться строения для чего-то неизвестного? Ну, то есть для тех, кто не в курсе, скажу что-то неизвестное, но я уже знаю, что они тут будут делать. Ну вот, заметили, что уже они что-то строят тут такое большое. Да.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll help.
It will, but we've got a lot of work ahead of us first. Come on, it's this way.
А мне, может, расскажут, какого хрена тут происходит?
Notice that we've been building a gantry on the tarmac. Maxon and Kells have been looking for something that'll tip the balance when we go toe-to-toe with the Institute. Now, the Pridwin might be a big beast, but she's not built for fighting. That's where our new project comes in. This storage bay full of parts is what's left of Liberty Prime. The Brotherhood used it in the Capital Wasteland as a weapon against the Enclave. It's the most advanced robot the Brotherhood has ever had at its disposal. Unfortunately, Liberty Prime was destroyed in the line of duty. I've spent the better part of the last few years piecing them back together. And if you think that was easy, try rebuilding a Protectron while you're blindfolded. In order to get Liberty Prime fully operational, we're going to need...
No problem. I'm sure this only looks...
I wish I had your confidence, because this is not... Now, the good news is that we've got most of Prime's parts fully assembled. The bad news is that it's gonna take more than a few rivets and some spot welding to get them working.
Liberty Prime — это
First
мощь.
problem is his
Однозначная.
It's fragile, and every time we try to feed power to it, it blows.
Мгм.
That doesn't sound hard to fix.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll just run down to the local giant robot store and
Right.
as much as I hate to admit it, Prime's power systems are out of my league. What we need is a robotics expert, and there's someone in Diamond City that fits the bill. Her name's Professor Skara. Locals say she's a wizard when it comes to fixing robots. Why don't you head over there? Oh, and take this.
Sure.
Once she sees one of those cerebro fusion adapters, I'm pretty sure she'll have a tough time saying no. In the meantime, I'll prep Prime's CPU and...
Церебральный ядерный адаптер. Но это похоже на интерфейс. Это ручка. Вот это похоже на батарею съемную. А это на сварку. Я не знаю. Так, поговорить со Скарой. Ага. Поговорить со Скарой в Даймонд Сити. Пошли. Так, а эта баба вообще где тут живет? Где-то... А, вон там. Стену, жаль, не могу разбить. А очень хотелось бы. Привет, женщина. Кстати. Да, давай-ка мы с тобой поторгуем. Кажется, у меня появилась идея, что у тебя купить. Угу. Угу. 9000. Ладно, отдай мне это обратно, я понял. Мы с тобой еще... Стой, а я могу как-то... Нет. Нет, не могу. Ну ладно. Эх, а так хотелось. Ну ладно. А как мне... Туда... Ты вообще куда мне? Стой. А, туда? Все, понял. Думаю, куда туда лезть надо. Терминальчик.
Security's too tight.
Sorry to let you down, but I'm afraid I'm not in the mood to teach biology lessons today.
If something's wrong,
It's my colleague. Her normal field expeditions never last more than... I'm afraid so...
right. Don't worry. I'll find her.
Oh, that would be wonderful. The last place Professor Skara said she was going is the... I'll mark it on your mapping. Look, if you find her...
Боюсь, у нас немного другие планы, и какое-то время вы с ней не увидитесь. Мы прибыли в Тейлансбаф, и отсюда сейчас двигаемся вот туда. Вот туда. Так. Что у меня вообще по стволам с собой такого интересного? А, я же в силовой броне. Я и забываю постоянно. Так, непривычно. Стой, а я отсюда вот силовую броню забрал? Пусто. Значит, забрал. Какой я молодец. Хо-хо-хо-хо. Стой, подожди, я нахожусь вот здесь. А где у нас тут была самая ближайшая силовая броня? Типа, ну, какая-нибудь еще, потому что, ну, да, я вот такое люблю. А как раз таки, стой, это вот здесь. Вот тут что-то есть. Вот где-то вот здесь. Но туда нам не по пути. Ну ладно, это печально. Опа. Роботы. Так, а где роботы? А зачем? Ага, понятно. Так, а к вам туда как залезть? А к вам туда, подожди, а как? Стой, а вот тут, может, можно? Вот тут вроде можно. Да, вот тут вроде бы можно. Так, и где наш петушара на колесиках? Что-то его не вижу. А, вижу. Ну, поближе немножко подойдем. Изи. 10 выстрелов. Да ты никчемен, братан. О, 2 ядерных блока. Я доволен. И зря я поднимался. Так, и дальше по квесту. Машина взорвалась. Люблю прыгать оттуда. Ну, в принципе, вот с высоких штук. Так, ребят, мы почти добрались. Нам нужно вон туда. Но спасем мы ее уже в следующей серии. Так что всем спасибо за просмотр и до новых встреч.